Okay. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadayetvam Aham idyam prasadayetvam Aham idyam Piteva putrasya sakheva sakyuhu priyaya arhasi devasodham priyaya arhasi devasodham tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadayetvam amisham idyam piteva putrasya sakheva sakyuhu priyaya arhasi devasodham priyaya arhasi devasodham I think what you do is at home. You see, I think we have to graduate on one thing. What I'm saying is, Sudarshan, is that master. There are many tools now. Voice is a tool, right? Then those word drills are another tool. Bana, Lata, Muni. You know what I mean? So go them sequence. You see, you make a tick mark that I have these tools ready, because you can diverse tools together, right? Then you will be again. You have everything you've done 5%, nothing a master of. So I want you people, to have some mastery. Know what I'm saying? That given people a voice, given a chance, you read somewhere, everybody dazed. You're different. Know what I'm saying? Skill, right? Or like a certain amount of things, why I'm saying that those word declensions, so that you can read difficult material, some strange material, you can read without difficulty. You don't understand it, you don't have word power, but you can read because you know the declension. You know what I'm saying? Which is sandhi. By virtue of the banena, banam, this thing, so you know what the sandhi is. So then you can read them, just like I'm doing now. Right. And then third thing then is conjugations, verb conjugations, which were not done yet. Right? So like that. So then I think when you don't scrounge about it, or you are comfortable about it, then you say, all right, I can construct why, what, and so on. Because Sanskrit is it's a 5,000-year-old literature, big, but beautiful though, beautiful. I love it. If you want to really do some good work on it, I'll be most happy. As a matter of fact, we had a big meeting this morning. Okay, all right. Urdhamulam Adha Shakam Aswatham Prahur Abhayam
Ashwatham Prahuravyayam.
Urdhamulam
Urdhamulam
Adha Shakham
Adhashakam
Aswatham Prahurabhyam.
Ashwatham
Do
Prahuravyayam.
you see the sandhi? Urdhamulam Adha Shakham. I'm doing that. My point is be cognitive. The reason I'm not doing this for your voice control. I'm just doing that so that you can see where the sandhi is. You know what I'm saying? If you really are. Okay, alright. Urdhamulam
Urdhamulam
Adha Shakham
Adhashakam
Aswastham
Ashwastham
Prahu Abbayam.
Prahuravyayam.
Prahu Rabbayam is Prahu Abbayam. Okay, alright. Chandansi
Chandansi
Yasya Parnani
Yasya Parnani
Yah Tam Veda
Yastam Veda
Sabedabit.
Savedabit.
So what is the sandhi in Sabedabit?
Sahaveda.
Sahavedabit. So va is kind of throwing away, taking away the visarga. Saha Vedabit. So suppose I ask you to do this sandhi. So you say Urdhamulam, Adhasakham, Aswastham, Prahuhu, Abbayam, Chandansi, Yasya, Varnani, Yah, Tam, Veda, Sa, Veda, Saha, Vedabit. So do it again. Urdhamulam, Adhashakam,
Urdhamulam Adhashakam
Aswastham Prahu Abbayam.
Ashwastham Prahuravyayam.
Chandansi Yasya Parnani
Chandansi Yasya Parnani
Yastam Veda Sabedabit.
Yastam Veda Savedabit.
Yastam Veda Sabedabit.
Yastam Veda Savedabit.
That's okay. So you repeat it at home. Do repeat it. And then
So, Mr. Ji, in Prahur Vayam, is it not A or A, and it's any other vowel other than A and A followed by a consonant can be converted into Ra? Is that why Prahur
no, is Abbayam.
Abhyam? So that's right. After, so
After Visharga,
any other vowel other than A and A preceding. So
No,
because
all
it's a-
vowels. All
Because
vowels.
A and
We'll force a Ra.
all the vowels.
All vowels.
Oh, okay. I thought A and A you cannot do Ra after.
There's A here. Abbayam.
Yeah, no, that's a following. Following on any vowel can be done, but preceding, if there is a vowel other than A and A, then you can only pick A.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. Visharga followed by all Vishargas.
Yeah, followed by any other vowel or voiced consonant is okay, but this
Not-
is
right.
But this is I'm saying preceding, because the preceding is not A or A. That's why you have to do. Because if the preceding was A and A, you cannot pick A, Ra. See, it's
There's no rule like that.
Ashwa or Ashwa, you cannot do A, Ra. Ashwar, you cannot say. So, Prahu, that's why you are saying Ra.
Ashwaha.
Yeah, if you have Ashwaha, and then if you have you cannot say Ashwar, you cannot put R there. So, preceding
No,
has to
R
be
is different. This is Ra.
Ra. That's what I'm saying, Ra.
Right.
So, if the preceding R,
R comes with a, okay, I think you are confusing. This is a vowel to Visharga.
that's right.
Right.
But I'm saying in that, if the preceding vowel is A or A, you cannot do Ra.
But it is a preceding vowel is I here.
Not
Or
the
is
preceding
U
vowel
here.
is U. That's why you can do that. Any other than A and A, you can do the Ra.
I'm not sure about it. But maybe if you say it's okay, fine. I have not checked that.
Okay.
Okay. So then the other thing is Adas. Okay. 61. Adas Chavurdham
अधश्चोर्ध्वम्
प्रसृताः तस्य शाखाम्
प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखा
अधश्चोर्ध्वम्
अधश्चोर्ध्वम्
प्रसृताः तस्य शाखाम्
प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखा
गुणप्रबुद्धाम्
गुणप्रवृद्धा
विषयप्रबालाः
विषयप्रबालाः
गुणप्रवृद्धाम्
गुणप्रवृद्धा
विषयप्रबालाः
विषयप्रबालाः
अधश्च मूलानि
अधश्च मूलानि
अनुसन्ततानि
अनुसन्ततानि
अधश्च मूलानि
अधश्च मूलानि
अनुसन्ततानि
अनुसन्ततानि
कर्मानुबन्धीनि
कर्मानुबन्धीनि
मनुष्यलोके
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 So adhascha, so there are number of things. Adhaha cha, adhascha. Then adhascha, then urdham, adhaschurdham. The three. Adhaha, adhaha cha, adhascha, and adhascha plus u. Then prasrutaha, tasya, shakha. Then guna prabruddhaha. You know, vishaya pravalaha. Visharga is taken out because the ba. Then adhascha again, adhascha, adhacha. Then mulani anusantatani. Mulani anusantatani.
Now, can you explain that? How? I mean, I have seen this. This is the second time it comes out. I mean, you have done.
This will be, I think, in the next.
Why is it? How do you?
Example.
What is the
lesson 9
ni,
today.
e and nya? How does it become nya? It is
Because e and a.
e and a. Okay. Becomes
Mulani, iya, iya. Iya is iya.
Okay.
Then karmanubandhini manushaloke. So karmanubandhini, there's no other sandhi. Okay. And then narupam ashyeham.
Narupam
You
asyeha.
can say what is the sandhi there. You are saying, you can say, if you have studied, it should be within your, whatever questions you asked, you should be within those rules.
Sya
Rupam asyeha.
rupamasya ha. Iha. It should be iha.
Right. So what are sandhis?
So rupam iha.
Then rupam,
Rupam sa iha.
No.
No.
rupam, oh no, you don't know.
Rupamasya.
Rupam asya iha.
Iha.
Okay. And tathopalabhyate, can you?
Apa.
That's
Tatha.
okay. All right.
Apalabdha. Apalabdha.
Narupam asyeham.
Narupamaseha.
Tathopalabhyate. What I'm
Tatopalabhyate.
saying is make the ground rules somewhat grounded. You know what I'm saying? You don't really scam around there, right? So let some basic rules. Right? Tathopalabhyate. What is tathopalabhyate? I don't think I've done that.
ततः उपलभ्यते
Tatha.
तथाः
Tatha upa. No, tatha. Not tatha.
Tatha.
Tatha. Upalabhyate. Oh. So and o. So becomes
तथो
so those things kind of here. So through the sandhi, more repetition of it, let more examples come so that you say yes. When there's a O, I immediately say it should be a vowel plus another vowel, some kind. You know what I mean? And then I look for, right? And then I think we are getting somewhere. Because we have to go out from the book mode to some technique mode inside. Yathopalabhyate. Okay. Nanto. Nanto, who can say?
न
Nanto. Then anta is?
Anta.
Yeah? What is anto?
Antaha.
Antaha.
Ah.
Antaha. Okay. Na antaha. Na cha. Adirna, who can say?
Adirnaha.
How do you say?
Cha. Adirnaha.
No, no, no.
Hmm.
How about anyone there? Adirna, you are saying about ref now, yeah? Adihi na.
आदिः
Na.
Yeah.
Adihi na. So,
Yeah.
na antaha, na adihi.
Oh.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Na cha sampratistha. Okay? Na cha. So, na. So, cha adi ichadi. Adihi. Na cha adihi chadihi. Chadihi plus na, chadirna. Okay, chadirna. Sampratistha. Then aswastham, enam. Aswastham, enam. Ashwastham, enam. Suvirudha moolam. Suvirudha moolam. Asanga sastrena. You get this Suvirudha moolam? Suvirudha moolam asanga. So ma, anushwar plus a is that ma there. Masanga sastrena. Right? Drudhena chitva. Alright?
रूपम् अस्येह
तथोपलभ्यते
तथोपलभ्यते
नान्तो न चादीर्न
नान्तो न चादीर्न
न न चादी न च नान्तो न चादीहि
नान्तो न चादीहि
न च सम्प्रतिष्ठाम्
न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा
अस्वस्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम्
अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम्
असङ्गशस्त्रेण
असङ्गशस्त्रेण
दृढेन चित्वा
दृढेन चित्वा.
Right. So do it quickly. न रूपमश्येह तथोपलभ्यते
न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते
नान्तो न चादी न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा
नान्तो न चादी न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा
अस्वस्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम्
अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम्
असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा
असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा.
Okay, good. So I think you try to do this. Now repeat the way this is done and see that we can repeat it. So we'll, as an exercise, what we'll do is, I think the previous class, this one, right, whatever we do, try to see whether, you can now since we have done this many times, so see that yes, maybe better memory. So, and then something you're familiar, Madhuvaka, and you had to do? Was it Madhuvaka? No.
It was the next one.
Atma or Tantratma.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one, but it needs more care though. Do people understand why I say more care? More care because they're mantra. You know what I'm saying? So you are kind of reciting them in a mantra. You're not really stating them. You know what I mean? So that's something called mantra dikya. So it's not normally done like this. So people, if you do like that, so people don't like it. You know what I'm saying? See, the Gita and so on you might do. But mantra if you do, people think that yes, you have a Suddha inside and hence the voice is clean. It will come with, if you really, possibly, some food regulation and then sleep regulation and the mind regulation. All right. So now and then what we also agreed that you will do some exercises in sequence, and then don't get stuck. Then you don't get stuck. And then I also want to tell you about the Buddha Katha. Let us see now. Can you open Buddha Katha? Let us do that little quickly so that we can succeed on this. So we did the first one last time, and now here. So Yada Maya Devi. Yada, so second paragraph, right?
Yeah.
Yada Maya Devi
यदा माया देवी
Sukhartham
सुखार्थम
Vane
वने
Abhramyat.
अभ्रमत
Abhramyat, Vane Abhramyat, Avagra Abhramat. Abhramat Tada. Tada, so you, Kavish, you did Banayeva, Banayeva. Do you understand?
Eva.
Banayeva.
Yes.
Yeah, so Banayeva,
Eva.
written here Banayeva. So the Sandhi is Banayeva. Do you understand?
Vane Eva, it's already written as Vane Eva.
Banayeva. So Banayeva because A has taken away that A.
Oh.
So when you decompose it, so it's Banayeva
Vane Eva.
because Bana doesn't exist.
Right.
Vane exists. Do you understand? So that's the idea. Or that's what I want you to say. No, I can't write Bana. what I'm saying? So I can write bana in a sentence, but not like as a word, because that doesn't exist. Banam exists, O banam, something like that. But bana doesn't. So vane. So vane. Vane eva tasyaha putraha.
Ajaya.
Putraha ajayata. Okay, putraha ajayata. Sa siddhartha. Yada balam siddhartham. Do you have your own notebook where you can see, or you know this? Siddhartham.
So one actually exists, but as a vocative. So that's wrong, right?
Right. That's not applied here.
Right. That's not applied.
Vaneva. Yada siddhartha, yada balam. And also you know that A is there. So whenever the vowel comes, it takes away the previous vowel matra. That's the idea. Alright.
Munayo.
Siddhartham. So munayo apashyat. So munayo is munayaha.
Munayaha.
Munayaha. Muni munayaha. Munayaha. So siddhartham munayaha apas. What will happen? Apashyan. Apashyan. You know what I mean? So apashyan tada. Apashyan tada.
Why apashyan? Who is seeing?
Munayaha.
Munayaha. Oh, so
Apashyan.
So it's multiple munis.
Right.
Oh, multiple munis. So that's why it's apashyan. Okay.
Apashyan tada te avhashanta.
Yeah, ashan.
Avhashanta. Okay? Te avhashanta. He Suddhodana. Esaha. Get that?
Yes.
Esaha tava putraha. Putraha.
Putra. Yeah.
Jadi nrupaha
Nipaha. Yeah.
bhavet.
Bhave. Tarhi.
Tarhi. Then saha.
Sarvasya.
Saha.
Saha. Yeah.
Saha got it. Sarvasya.
Lokasya.
So if you know, I think why not you, so let us do the same thing then again. If you have done it, then maybe you can read it. You can do the correct one.
Okay, so
Rupaha bhavet. So kintu.
Nipaha bhave.
Then you start kintu.
Kintu yadi sah
Saha.
sah loke dukkham pashyet tarhi sah
Saha.
sah okay saha muni eva
Muni. Yeah.
bhavet
Yeah.
tada sa
Saha.
saha sarvasya lokasya guru bhavet iti.
Bhavet iti. Okay, here you can try Punam. Yada.
I didn't even try it at all.
Okay. Kavish.
Yada Shuddhodana Nripaha Muninam Tad Vachanam Abodhat
Okay.
Tada Saha Achintayat Mama Putraha Nripaha Eva Bhavatu
Very good.
Saha Sarvasya Lokasya Nripaha Bhavatu
All right.
Saha Ma Vanam Gacchatu
Okay.
Ma Cha Saha Munihi Abhavat
No.
Iti.
Bhavatu.
Munihi Sarvasya Lokasya Nripaha Bhavatu
All right.
Saha Ma Vanam Gacchatu
Okay.
Ma Cha Saha Munihi Abhavat
No.
Iti.
Bhavatu.
Munihi
Bhavatu iti. Bhavatiti. Bhavatiti. Okay.
Macha sa muni
Bhavatu.
bhavatu iti.
Bhavatu iti. You want to try some Sadarsan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nipah siddhartasya kite kanakasya prasadam arachat
Okay.
sah tam prasadam ratneha
Ratnehi.
ratnehi abhushayat
Okay.
tasya prasadasya Purata. Paschata cha.
Paschatcha.
Paschata cha. Vaneshu ridaha abhavan.
Okay. You want to try Punam? Even try Teshu?
Okay. Teshu, Hrideshu,
Mm-hmm.
Sarvada, Kamala.
Kamalani.
Wait, so let's try. Yeah. Kamalani avardhanta.
Kamalani.
Yeah. Avardhanta. So whenever the nya, you know that thing, ya thing comes, whenever that thing,
Yeah.
iya. Iya.
Kamalani.
Alright. So that's the lesson 9. Kamalani avardhanta. Eka continue.
Okay. Me?
Hansascha.
Okay. Hansascha,
No, hansaha cha.
Hansaha cha,
Mm-hmm.
Teshu, Hrideshu,
Mm-hmm.
Sukhe,
Sukhena.
Sukhena, Anrityam,
Anrityan.
Sukhena, Anrityam.
Okay.
Tasmin, Prasade,
Prashade.
Prasade,
Mm-hmm.
Pratidinam,
Mm-hmm.
Naryaha, Kusumana Malam, okay.
Kusumanam mala, yeah. Continue.
Kusumanam Mala, Archayan,
Arachayan.
Archayan, Siddharthai, okay, there is a sandhi there.
Cha.
Mm-hmm.
Cha yachan.
Cha,
Ayachan.
Ayachan,
Okay. Kavish.
तत्र सिद्धार्थः सुखम एव अलभत
Alabhata.
अलभत
Right.
अलभत
Alabhata.
अलभत
Yeah.
सह दुखम न कदापि अपश्यत
Okay.
सह अचिन्तयत लोके सुखम एव भवति
Uh-huh.
दुखम न कुत्र चित अपि वर्तत इति
Vartate.
वर्तते
Same thing again. So
वर्तते
the E has taken away the vartate. Yeah.
वर्तते इति
Okay, but you don't know what vartate is, so naturally. So don't feel, vartate, that has been done. That is in lesson 9. Lavate. Okay.
We may have done it. एकदा सिद्धार्थः प्रसाद अद बहि अगच्छत सह ग्रामे
Prasadat.
प्रसाद
Dat. There's Banat.
I broke it up.
So
Prasad.
that's ability of
No,
prasad.
no, Prasadat is one word.
One word.
Prashadat. Like Banat, Kupat, Prashadat. So only thing it has become the because of the Vahi.
I
So,
see.
so Prashadat Vahihi Agachat. Then?
सह ग्रामे अभ्रामयत
Okay.
तत्र ग्रामे सह कम चित व्याधितम नरम कम चित वृद्धम नरम कम चित च मृतम नरम ईक्षत
Aikyata.
Aiksha,
Aikyata.
ईक्षत
Aiksha.
कैपिटल ई
Right,
Badi.
Aikyata.
ईक्षत
So Aikya, I think it also came before. Aikyata, what happened? The past
Right.
tense of Ik. Ikyata is the present tense. Aikyata is the verb. There's an A in front of it.
ओ आईक्षत
Aikyata is Aikyata.
So what you're saying is E and A become A, right?
It's a past tense.
Past tense.
Of ik.
Because it's ayakshat, it should be normally ayakshat, but because
ईक्ष
E and
No.
No?
It's a past tense.
past tense,
Aikyata.
so it became
Ik of Aikyata.
ईक्षत
So the present tense will go as Ikyate, Ikyete, Ikyante.
right
Aham tvam ikhyame, ikye. I'm seeing you. So that's ikye. But when it becomes past tense, you know what I mean? So aikyata. Aikhyata, Aikyatam, Aikyantam. Okay.
Tataha Saha Dukkham Abodhat.
Yeah.
Saha Kam Chan Munim Cha Apashyat.
You want to try JJ? Tasya, Tasya Mune,
तस्य मुने
Munehe.
मुनेः मुखे सिद्धार्थः सुखम् एव अपश्यत
Okay. Apashyat.
अपश्यत सिद्धार्थ
Siddhartha.
सिद्धार्थः मन्यते
Amanyat.
अमन्यत अहम दुःखम ने अच्छामि
Naichami.
न इच्छामि तथा सुखाय ततः सुखायाः
Sukhaya aham.
सुखाय अहम मुनि
Munihi.
मुनिः भवे अयमिति
Bhaveyam.
भवेयम् इति
Iti.
भवेयम् इति सः पुनः स्वं
Prasadam.
प्रासादम् अगच्छत् यद्यपि सह भार्याया पुत्रेण च सह प्रासादे
Avasat.
अवसत्
Tathapi.
तथापि सः
Tathapi has?
तथा-
Tathapi has?
Api.
Tatha api.
तथापि
Okay, alright.
सः सर्वदा
But tathapi is also used as a one word. Is a word by itself.
Right.
Tathapi is the word. But tatha, because both are obeyers. Tatha, so they're not, no declension.
Yeah.
Tathapi also used. Okay.
दुःखस्य कारण
Karanam.
कारणम् अचिन्तयत्
You want to try Bani? Kutaha.
कुतः एलोभते
No, Narasya.
Narasya.
कुतः न नरा न नरस्य जीवनः
Jivanam.
जीवनं दुःखं भवति
Good.
कुत्रो
Kutaha.
कुतः कुतः
Munihi. Munihi.
मुनिः अग्रहन्
Gruham. Gruham त्यजति.
गृहं त्यजन्ति
Tyajati.
त्यजति
Vanam cha.
वनश्च
Vanam cha.
वनञ्च गच्छति
Gacchati.
किं
Katham.
कथं सः वने सुखं वसानि
Lavate.
लभते यशोधरा मम भार्या
Okay, so you finish, Sudarshan, you can finish it.
Rahula
Mm-hmm.
mama putra
Mm-hmm.
kutra
Mama Kutra, not ha, Kutra.
kutra mama sukham
Mm-hmm.
aham tabhyam sah vasani
Mm-hmm.
अथवा तौ त्यजानि वनं च गच्छानि एतत् तत्स
Etat saha.
एतत् सः
Mm-hmm.
सर्वदा अचिन्तयत्.
Alright. Okay, I know. See, the point is, I think because you're old, so what happens is you also want to understand. You know what I mean? You take it as a drill. Drill. Drill means pattern recognition. Can I see the pattern? Can I read? You know what I mean? Do you read enough English? Read New York Times. Know what I'm saying? Every word you may not understand, but read it. Makes sense. When you read the whole sentence, some sense will come. Do you understand what I'm saying? The words, you may not understand each word there. But that should not prevent you from reading. That's called self-reading, in the sense that it's okay. I may not understand anything, but I have confidence on going. Alright, so that's what you apply. Alright, so now on this 9, which I thought, what you do is, I think that we did before, Muni there, Taru there, so those things you did. Then mati, dhenu, those things also probably you know. Mati, dhenu, so they're not difficult. And then, but because since many people are not still behind, so I don't want to force it. But people who want to proceed, but do proceed provided you have done your word drills. Muni, Vana, Kupa, Lata. You know, means so new 2 things are coming. So this is the topping. At this point, we should freeze that we have all the previous ones held. So now Muni comes, you know. And you know Muni, is it? You know Muni? No, you don't Muni. Muni, you know Muni sometimes.
Yeah.
What is it?
Muni, Muni, Munaya.
Muni.
Munim, Muni, Munin.
Muni.
Munina, Munibhyam, Munibhihi.
Good.
Munaye, Munibhyam, Munibhya.
Good.
Mune,
Mune.
Munehe, Munibhyam, Munibhya.
Good.
Munehe, Munibhya, Muno,
Munyo.
Munyoho, Muninam. And then Munyoho,
Muno.
Muno, Munyoho, Munishu.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mune, Muni, Munaya.
Mune, yeah. Like that. And then, okay, all right. So similarly, the Taru will go, Mati will go, Dhenu will go, and they have a whole table of this sandhis are here, all right. And then other technique is that, you know, the vocabulary they are saying, there's a vocabulary here every time they're giving vocabulary, right? So those vocabulary are being used, because my logic is, through repeating them, those vocabulary enter your mind. That's the idea, you know what I mean? So if you forget the previous vocabulary, new vocabulary comes, right? So what is this? It went back in the previous one, right? So those vocabulary you have to carry on.
And they're very clever. Every time you do this, you have to go back because a lot of things they pull from behind.
Right. But I don't know how much time it takes and so on.
It takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it
So that's because the
See, because you gave us this and the Buddha Katha. So
no,
I
Sandhi
was
I can see that Sandhi, because the declensions you are not mastered, so Sandhi you couldn't detect. So I expected the declension you were doing. So that was my test though, to see whether declensions, you know, whether you can really see, you know what I mean? So it all depends upon how much of pattern recognition you have. See, some Bombay street kids, they're much better pattern recognition. You know, you just show them and they know how many cards are there. They don't repeat it. You know what I mean? It's a function of your worldly presence of solving problems. You know what I mean? You solve difficult problems, so you say, hey, look, I half an hour, I solve it. I don't take 3 days, I don't have 3 days. I can't eat tonight. If I don't solve, I have no food. I have to find a technique to solve it. But when it becomes sedate, so naturally, it's okay. I don't have to exert myself. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a pattern recognition. That is that Gandhi, and that's what exactly also I'm telling that man. You know, you have to, intuitive smelling. Yeah, I know how to. I know what to do doesn't mean that you know what to do. But you have a sense to it. Okay, okay. So now I think what I'll ask you is that, see that they say translate number 83. So don't translate, but do sandhi, which is they're giving it number 2.
Yeah.
See the exam exercise 2 on page 84.
Yeah.
Page 84. All right.
Yeah.
So they are asking to do the sandhi for the same page. You follow? Again, I will say that whenever you think you are stumbling because of the declension, it's okay. Move on. You know, move on and send ... and then you go on. So the whole point is how many of the similar kinds you can find, how quickly. So that will help you to read. Know what I'm saying? I can read. So which means that at least that section which you could not decompose, you could read. But you can't understand because you could not decompose. But the question you could decompose, then you say yes. This looks like Tritiya, that looks like Chaturthi, that looks like Banat, that looks like this. So those kind of larger pictures, you go like Muni. The good part is there are not many such things. Muni, Lata, Vana, Kupa and so on, done. But the question is, each of them has the 7 variations, or 7 times 3. So those things become difficult too. But basically, if we create a map inside of our mind, so that we can see them, that's it. Then we can read. And once you read, then vocabulary will come. You know what I mean? Because new words will encounter. And, okay, all right. So translate the following, you don't have to translate. And I think that's it. That's it. And try to be, so not much work. And then declension, however, like this, if you're really advanced, then people who are advanced, they do declension of the following. Ari, Shishu. Why don't I try with Sudarshan?
Okay.
Say, if you know Muni, then you can do Ari. Try Ari.
Okay. Ari, Arihi, Ari, Araya.
Arihi, Ari.
Arihi, Ari, Araya. Ari,
Yeah.
Ari, Arayaha.
Okay.
Arim, Ari, Arin.
Ari. Anybody here you can try? Like Muni, Ari is a
Just reading from the
Arina,
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 Aribhyam, Aribhi, Ariye, Aribhyam,
no, not Ari, Araye.
Araye, okay. Araye, Aribhyam, Aribhyaha, Arehe, Aribhyam, Aribhyaha.
How about Kavish?
Arehe, Aryo, Arinam, Arau, Aryo, Arishu. Are, Ari, Arayah.
Good. Okay, all right. Then anybody want to try Shishu with Taru?
Shishu,
You want to try? Okay, try.
Shishu,
No, it's one you want to try, yeah?
Shishu, Shishuvaha.
It's our good.
Shishum, Shishu, Shishuna,
Shishun.
Shishun,
Okay.
Shishuna,
Yeah.
Shishubhyam, Shishubhi,
Good.
Shishuve,
Sisave.
oh, Shishave, Shishubhyam, Shishubhya,
You have to try JJ.
Shisho,
Sisoh.
Shisho, Shishubhyam, Shishubhyaha.
Okay.
Shisho,
Sisoh.
Shisho, Shisho,
No.
how do you pronounce that?
Sisyoho.
Shisho,
No, Sisyoho.
Shishoho,
Sisyoho. Whoa.
Shishoho.
Si. Sisu. Taru. Is it Taruvoho?
Mhm.
Is that? Shishyoho. Whoa.
Shishoha,
Shishyoho.
Shishoha,
Right. Whoa. Shishwaha.
Shishwaha,
Right.
Shishwoho,
Right.
Shishu.
Siddhit Ra. Siddhit Taruvoho.
Mhm.
So Taru. U go away.
Mhm.
R remained.
Yeah.
So similarly, Shishu. U go away. Sh remained. Then Yoho is here.
Mhm.
So that Yoho. Shishwoho.
Shishwoho.
Yeah.
Shishwoho.
The same logic. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Do you follow? So Dhanu, can you say Dhanu? What will happen there?
Dhanvoho.
Dhanu. Same thing.
Dhanvoho.
U goes away, then Dhanyoho, Taryoho. Sadhu,
Sadvoho.
Sadhoho.
Sadvoho.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Do you understand? Guru,
Guru.
Garvo.
Gurboho. Do you understand? Taru,
Taroho.
Tarboho. Okay, like that.
Can you repeat Shishu again?
Shishyoho, that, see the page 79? Tarvoho. So Tarvoho. So what happens is, Taru So the U was there
Yeah.
at the end.
Mhm.
So U goes away.
Mhm.
So U goes away, R remains.
Okay.
So that R, then we added Woha.
Woha. Okay.
So that Woha is the ending.
Okay.
So every time we have a Ukara, so we throw away the Ukara and put Yoho.
Okay.
Alright? Sisyoho, Guruoho, Sadhuoho,
Tarvoho.
Tarvoho, like that. Any U. Shishyo, Asrova, Ashru, Ashrovo. That's a hard one. Because Asr remains.
Yeah.
Asr remains. So Wa. Asara Wa. Ashrovo.
Ashroho. Ashroho.
Okay. Then no. Okay, alright. So like that. Complete that. Did you complete?
Shishuna,
Hmm.
Shisho, Shishor, Shishushu, Shisho, Shishu, Shishavaha.
Right. So now let's the difficult part will end here. Chakyu.
Chakshu.
Yeah.
Chakshu. Okay. So we'll
That's,
go.
that's that here though. I didn't invent it. It's easy here.
Oh, yeah. So we are doing the Taru by Taru.
Right.
So Chakshuhu, Chakshau,
Chakyu.
Chakshu,
Right.
Chakshwaha.
Chakyavaha. Then you?
Chakshum, Chakshu, Chakshun,
Chakyun. Yeah.
Chakshuna.
Yeah.
Chakshubhyam.
Good.
Chakshubhihi.
Chakyuhi. Yeah.
Chakshuve,
Chakyave. Yeah.
Chakshabhyam,
Yeah.
Chakshabhya,
Chakyuvya.
Chakshubhya,
Chakyuvya. Sadhuvya. Sisuvya. Chakyuvya. Yeah. Panchami?
Chakshaha.
Chakye.
Chakshehe.
Or Chakyoho.
Chakshoho,
Taru.
Chakyoho.
Chakshoha.
Right.
Chakshubhyam.
Yeah.
Chakshubhya.
Good.
Then Chakshoho,
Chakyoho. Yeah.
Chakshoho, Chakshaho.
Yeah. So that's the hard one.
Yeah.
Chakshoho. Yeah.
Chakshoho,
And then Chakshunam.
So in the higher order grammar, when they do drill for Ganesha, when they go for, let us say, Samavartan, commencement, so they will put those things in and they'll flunk you. Because breath will not be there. When it comes in back to back, 3-4 consonants together, so Ganesha Sahasranam is a good thing to do. So they have done it such a way that after,
Oh, it was so beautiful. We did it in Lakshmi temple.
right, but we did not really do it the mantra style, but they done it such a manner so that it becomes longer and longer and bigger, you know what I mean? So it's a Chakyoho,
Chakyoho,
Chakyunam,
Chakshunam.
Chakyunam.
Chakshuna,
Chakshau,
Mm-hmm.
Chakshoho,
No Chakshu, Shadhu, Shad, yeah.
Chaksho,
Chakshaho,
Mhm.
Tarvoho,
Right.
Chakshaho, and then Chakshushu.
No, Taru, Tarboho,
Tarvoho, yeah.
Yeah, Chakyu,
Chakyo, Chakwash, Chakwash, ho.
Chakyoho,
Chakyoho, Chakshushu,
right. Chakshyoho,
Chakshyoho,
right.
Chakshyoho,
Very good.
Chakshyoho, Chakshushu,
Chakshushu.
then Chaksho, Chakshu, and
Chakshuva,
Chakshaha.
Chakshaha. Very good. So they are kind of saying this. And is what happens is some of this American people, they're very good in grammar. They kind of, they learn it and so on. They don't have the sounds. And I want both of you to have sounds and grammar if you can. All right? So anyway, so do this thing, and I guess then whosoever, then we'll do this. I think Hemant didn't come back. Hemant!
No, we didn't see coming.
Nobody comes? Nobody's there. Oh.
You said, yeah, I did that 9, that part you just gave me.
What is this?
The,
Oh, you did the translation already?
the translation and the sandhi. So you might want to give me some more work.
So did I not tell you before that you have to do one line on this thing? You know, alternate lines so that you are more clear. That's the part of Suddhi. Suddhi is, you know, in general, right? See, amount of white space compared to the black space.
Ah, okay.
That's Suddhi.
More white space.
That means you have less thoughts and more space inside of you. Suddhi. You have more thoughts and less space, Asuddhi. You know what I'm saying? So any scribbling, any this thing, a sign of Asuddhi. I have many dishes, you know what I mean? And they all look scattered, right? Asuddhi. I have only some white rice done in a plate, Suddhi. Suddhi is, you know what I'm saying? It's a cleanliness. From yoga, the first thing is Saucha. Saucha. Suchi. Suchi is like my surface, my this thing.
But then one paragraph will take like you 3 pages.
Doesn't matter. Suddhi. Just don't do many paragraphs. One clean paragraph is fine. That's Suddhi. That's also home is enough. You don't have to write many. Okay, all right. So at least give a space and so on until because otherwise you can't really read it. You know what I mean? I was telling him before when he came, the whole there's a whole this thing about like what a student should be. Sankara wrote a book called Upadesha Shastri, the student's attributes. You know what I'm saying? And the first attribute is Shama. Shama. Shama is that whatever you are doing, you are respectful to it. You are respectful to the paper, respect to the page, respect to the book, to the space. Shama. You know what I mean? Which is very difficult to do. Difficult to do. Because what we do is by virtue of anything we do, we encroach. Because they don't really talk back, right? So it doesn't matter. You throw stuff and so on, leave places unclean. They don't, you know. So he goes on saying, your Sama, this thing. Then of course Sama then comes. What you can say, what the next thing is? No?
Nishtha.
No.
Dhamma?
Dhamma. How do you know? You heard of it?
I heard, yeah, they say there's a Shrama Dhamma Danda.
No, not Danda. Right. Sama Dhamma. Sama Dhamma. What is Dhamma? You know that. Of course you know. Huh? Dhamma. Dham, you know, Dham in Hindi, Dham is there, isn't it?
Well,
Yes.
Dham
Strength,
in
Yeah.
Hindi.
What is that?
Strength, force.
Aggression. Dhamma. So that is any time. So Shama is you are respectful. That doesn't mean that you are respectful. That doesn't mean that your mind is
You
so
achieved it. You did
right.
not
So
achieve.
externally you are Shama, but your mind is in Sama. Then you have a Dhamma. Dhamma means any kind of a loha, vigraha, you know, things like that, you have controlled it. Dhamma. You know? Dhamma. That's also Dhamma. Dhamma. So Dhamma. Then Uparati. Uparati, Uparati, Uparati. You know what I mean? Uparati is engaged. Engaged in the task. But anyway, so there's 6 of them. Like I told you 3. We shall see. So once you master them, then we shall see next 3. Sadhana Sastatrayam. Okay, all right, very good. So what we'll do? Asatoma Sadgamaya.
Asatoma
Sadgamaya.
Tamashoma Jyotirgamaya.
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya.
Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
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 All right, okay. So what shall we do now? So would you do that then? I don't want to repeat this, but
I
think
just
it's
don't
okay.
want to repeat it, it's
No.
very boring.
Right.